Hello, everybody. I know this is a really weird recorded video here. I'm doing this on my phone because I didn't want to try to continue with Sally Face until I did this part, because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it later. But I did start trying to go back and get 100% in each of the chapters or in each of the episodes, and I found out that at the start of episode 3, during that thing when you're getting chased by the video camera, if you get those things. If you get the switches flipped right, you get this journal, and throughout the course of the game, or throughout the course of the episode, you actually find pages. And I wanted to try to read these, so that way, I still had that on record because it's a lot more lore, I think. If you're seeing this, then that means that I wasn't able to do it in episode 5 or later when I started streaming again. If you're not seeing this, that means it's been deleted already from my phone entirely. So whatever. But here we go. Yeah, see, this is exactly why. There's a lot of reading. So, today I lost everything. It's gone. All gone. I never imagined our world would end like this. There was no warning to the plague of shadows that invaded. The day began with a trip to the Sky Towers, along with Evelyn and her children. My company had been showcasing a new line of drifters, capable of bending space-time and traveling even greater distances across the galaxy. Evelyn was ecstatic and couldn't wait to pilot the new model. Standing at the exhibit, I turned to look at Eve, who wore this big, goofy grin that was almost too large for her face. Her smile brings a familiar childhood warmth to my heart. She was the kindest soul anyone could ever know and always found happiness, even in trying moments. Yet Eve's smile couldn't withstand the next moment. The events will be seared in my mind forever. I suppose I'm trying to frame this better. Sorry. Okay, that should be good. A low rumbling noise muffled all surrounding sounds and was swiftly accompanied by the hideous screaming of the masses. As I watched the smile dissolve from Eve's face, panicked terror settled in my gut, mirroring the look of dread she now expressed. I turned to look behind us, where she was now gazing. The shadows were seeping into the tower and had already taken many lives. Evelyn's 2 boys were across the room, staring down, over the balcony rail, at the chaos below. In an instant they were consumed by the shadow. Eve let out a shriek so loud I thought my ears would burst. I had to hold her back from running straight into certain death. A difficult thing to do, considering I wanted to run to her boys. Yet it was clear they were gone. I pulled Eve into one of the drifters and quickly made sure she was secure before taking off. As we smashed through the tall glass windows of the tower and then through the atmosphere, the shadows consumed the entire planet. There was nothing left, like some insignificant hole in space, where our world used to be. I lost everything. We lost everything. I turned to speak to Evelyn, my mouth ajar, but no words could form. Her warm spirit had turned cold and brittle. Tears were pouring like rivers down her cheeks, and her body was shaking uncontrollably. She is in shock. I pray that we can somehow survive this and that we can somehow find happiness again. We've been drifting through space for weeks now. The first few days are fuzzy, most likely from being in a state of shock. I forgot about this journal, yet as much as I try, I cannot forget about the shadows. A constant fear persists in the forefront of my mind. Are they pursuing us? I think it's pursuing. Are they pursuing us? Am I simply delaying our inevitable annihilation? Yet if such darkness does exist, then perhaps there is some kind of opposite force that will shine kindly upon my sister and I. Evelyn still isn't speaking much. She's absolutely devastated. I'm not sure that she'll ever be the same again, if we even live through this. Earlier today, I'm almost positive that I saw a beacon on our radar. It was a brief flash, but if my eyes were not deceiving me, then that means we are in range of a habitable planet. It's a great distance away, so we'd have to use the remaining power in the drifter to make the jump. This is why I did not immediately act on it. However, our food cartridges are running low as well. We've got enough for a few days at best. So we either risk our lives jumping to a potentially habitable planet, or we risk our lives waiting until our food runs out to see if we can find a better chance somewhere else. I asked Eve what she thought we should do. She's been silent for hours. I'm not sure that It blinked again. The computer is saying that it's not only habitable, but that it's also teeming with life forms and is over 70% water. Eve cautiously nodded her head in agreement. This is our chance. In a few minutes we will make the jump. I'm sweating profusely and my hands won't stop shaking. This will either be the end of my life or the beginning of a new life. Both thoughts were equally terrifying. I've never felt so utterly hopeless. She's gone. Just vanished. How is this possible? Where is Evelyn? The jump was a success, and the planet is beautiful, filled with lush forests, fresh air, and small creatures for nourishment. Eve would love it here. One moment she was right next to me, then in an instant, right after the jump, she was gone. It's not possible. I just can't understand how this could happen. I've been searching the forest for days, hoping that there could be a chance she was here somewhere. Maybe when we warped, I saw her. She was calling for help, but when I started running and yelling her name, she fled. I lost sight of her, but I have a good idea of the general direction she's heading. If there was a miscalculation in the drifter, I suppose it's possible that she was teleported directly to the planet. It seems highly unlikely, but I don't know what else would explain this. I have to find her and approach with caution. She could be in a traumatic state, confused and panicked. I've come across a small town. Humans. Early, civilized humans. The odds of this are astronomical. The drifter would have changed our world, had it not been destroyed before they went to market. I came across a small brick building. Standing outside was an elderly woman. She was the first contact I had with these people. She welcomed me as if she had been waiting for my arrival. Despite the kindness she presented, I could sense something hidden and dark deep within her eyes. I felt uneasy around her, yet also a strong sense of familiarity, as if we knew each other in another lifetime. I'm not one to normally believe in such things, but the sensation was potent. The old lady invited me into the building where she left me on my own. It was then that I met a younger woman, closer to my age. She was strong, kind, and beautiful. I was so overflowing with emotion that I broke out in tears. A normal stranger would have avoided a grown man making such a scene, but not this woman. She took me right into her arms. This only made my sobbing worsen. We went into her apartment and she sat me down, got me a blanket and some hot coffee. A long conversation was to follow. I of course couldn't tell her the full truth. How could I? I would sound like a lunatic and quite possibly find myself imprisoned or worse. I told her that I had lost my home and my family and didn't know what to do. She spoke with the owner of the building, a man named Terrence Addison, and said that they had an extra room I could stay in on the 5th floor. She's a lovely woman, Lisa Garcia. Lisa, so that's Larry's mom. So is this supposed to be Jim writing this? Is that what it is? This is Jim? Oh shit. It's been over a year since I arrived on this planet. In that time, I've been studying as much as I can about the local society, history, and general ways of the people here. Everything is remarkably similar to my home planet, which has made it easy for me to fit in. I managed to get a job at a local factory, and I've really been enjoying the music here. I took up the surname Johnson since my identifier Zarinth-Camp42-79 would likely raise some suspicion. For a while, I would go out every day to search for Evelyn. In the beginning, I could have sworn I saw her in the apartment building, multiple times. Eventually, I came to the realization that it was just my mind playing tricks on me. I was in mourning, and I had to overcome extraordinarily traumatic events. I will always miss my old life and my family, but it's best for me to focus on what life I have now. Focus on the good things. Lisa taught me that. She's been a great help. I may have lost my mind if it weren't for her. For the first time in my life, I'm in love. I've never felt such a strong connection to anyone before. The best part is that she feels the same way. What a bittersweet series of events this has been. I've been staying in her apartment for about 5 months now. Later today, I plan to ask her for her hand in marriage. It's similar to a union ceremony back home. She said yes. We had a wonderful night together. Everything was so perfect. Lisa is fast asleep now, but I'm too excited to sleep. I'm having nightmares again of Evelyn. We're sitting in the drifter. I look over at her and she smiles. Then her smile melts away in a burst of flame that engulfs her body. I struggle to get my seatbelt off, but it's stuck. Eve becomes a charred corpse right in front of me, screaming in agony. That's when I wake up. It's the same dream every time. I'm starting to wonder if this is a repressed memory. Did Eve burn up when we made the jump and my mind simply blocked this out? If that's the case, why am I dreaming of it? It's unsettling to say the least. The timing isn't so great either. Lisa and I are expecting a baby within a few months. I'm both excited and extremely nervous. Prior to the conception, I did extensive research into the biology of humans on this planet. I am no biologist, but from what I understand, we are of the same species. Well, I can't imagine that we are 100% exactly the same, but we are so close that I think this will be okay. I've even been to local doctors and had my blood tested and everything. Of course, I didn't tell them that I wasn't quite from around these parts, but it all came up fine. This gave me an intriguing thought. Even though our solar systems are thousands of light years apart, could it be that the humans of our two planets share some kind of common ancestor? And if so, how many other planets are out there harboring human or humanoid life. Larry Johnson, our perfect, healthy baby boy. I'm still reeling from yesterday when our child was born. A large weight has lifted from my shoulders, and joy came flooding in to replace it. I knew from the moment I saw him that I'd do anything for him. This is a life form I've created with Lisa, and we both feel a tremendous unconditional love for our boy. When we first saw him, we wept tears of joy. I hope we can stay this happy forever. I took the whole week off so that I can be here with my family. As I was putting little Larry to bed, something strange happened. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a shadow that moved quickly across the room, knocking over a box of toys. Fear coursed through my veins. My heart was pounding so hard that I thought my ribs would break. Flashbacks of my past flickered through my thoughts. The plague of shadows. My home world. Evelyn. Then I looked down at Larry's face and he smiled at me. It was likely just baby gas, but his expression calmed me down. He's safe. I'm safe. Lisa is safe. If the plague had followed me here, it would have destroyed this world long ago. It was just my eyes playing tricks on me again. I've been stressed out lately and haven't slept well in weeks. I must put these fears behind me. I have to be healthy and alert so I can be there for my family. They are my number one priority. A few years have passed since my last entry. For the most part, everything has been great. Life has its ups and downs, but overall it's mostly good. I'm working my way up in the factory. Larry is happy and healthy. So is Lisa. The three of us have a lot of fun together. And we have another baby on the way. Oh no. This one wasn't exactly planned, but we couldn't be more excited. Aside from these bright spots in my life, I feel as though a darkness is lurching in from unseen corners. Something is wrong with this building. Things happen without explanation or rationality. Most people here still believe the concepts of gods and ghosts. They would call this building haunted. These archaic ideologies may hold some small trace of truth after all. Lisa claims she's never seen anything unnatural happen here and that it's just people's imaginations. This time I'm positive that my mind isn't playing tricks on me. I have nothing but respect for Lisa's scientific worldview, and how could she believe in such things if she's never seen the proof with her own eyes? I don't hold that against her, but for now I will keep my findings to myself. The old woman that was first to greet me in this world, her name is Allison Rosenberg. Most call her Rose. This morning she told me a story of how she came to this place. If it's true, that would mean she is well over 100 years old, possibly over 200. It doesn't seem very likely considering the average lifespan on this planet is around 70. Rose requested that I meet her later tonight. She said she had something important to show me, and there was a sense of urgency to her words. When I declined, she clutched my sleeve and said there would be dire consequences to denying fate itself. I pulled my sleeves free and walked away. I don't have time for this delusional woman's games, and I certainly don't believe in fate. Though, as I sit here with Larry, I'm starting to get a sinking feeling in my stomach. Rosenberg's words echo through my head. Why am I so haunted by foolishness? I need to avert my thoughts from such things and back to reality. Look how happy Larry is, playing his video game. He gets so mad at these little pixels on the screen and so elated when he finishes a level. I wish I could show him the neural games of my world. He would have loved those. Anyway, Lisa should be back soon, and I'm going to make us a nice dinner. Tragedy prevails once again. We lost the baby, stillborn. Lisa is devastated. She hasn't said much and hasn't left the bedroom in a few days. I tried my best to explain to Larry, but he's so young that he doesn't fully understand. He's angry at us because he thinks we lied to him about getting a baby sister. Oh, and it was going to be a girl. Damn. Our happy family has this giant crack in it now. Well, that's what it feels like, at least. Seeing Lisa so isolated is making this even harder to bear. I hate seeing her in pain like this. It breaks my heart. I'm sitting in the car with the groceries. It's freezing, but I let the cold take me. Addison Apartments, the small 5-story brick building, protruding from the dark forest looming over me. I want to scream, why? Why do I deserve this? But I am not so self-centered to think that the universe owes me anything. The only thing for me to do now is be there for my family as we attempt to crawl out from this hole. Last night I had the most horrible nightmare. There was a man in the shadows, standing on a pile of bodies. He whispered to me. He was trying to tell me something, but I couldn't make out any of his words. I looked down at my feet and realized I was standing in a pool of blood. The entire ground was blood, and beyond that was simply darkness. A bony, cold hand grasped my shoulder. As I turned around, a familiar face came into focus. It was Rosenberg, though she looked skewed and her eyes were sunken in, like a zombie that had risen from the dead. When she opened her mouth, maggots poured out. Her tongue smacked against her gums and lips as she spoke. Her words again continued to haunt me, even after waking. If you do not join us, everything you love will wither and die. The moment she spoke, I saw Larry and Lisa's twisted corpses. Today, I finally decided to meet with Rose. She revealed to me an old temple that rests below this very building. A small group of people meet here to carry on the traditions of an ancient society. They believe in an archaic magic that seems dark and unnatural. I wouldn't have believed any of this if not for the fact that I've witnessed its power firsthand. Yet what they call magic, I believe it to be something else. A thought that frightens me, but I must delve deeper to uncover the truth. The journey I'm about to embark on may be the last thing I do, but I must do everything I can to protect my family from the unseen darkness. And here's the last one. Oh shit. Sal, please read this journal I've kept over the past years so that you will begin to understand what is at stake. I know Lisa and Larry must hate me for leaving, but please know that I have loved them and love them still beyond anything else in life, and that is the very reason I had to leave, to protect them. You are a good man, Sal, and I am glad that you and Larry will form a strong kinship. This must seem very strange to you, and I haven't got much time to explain everything. In short, there are forces at work here that are far beyond imagination. I've seen glimpses of the future, I've seen glimpses of the past. Now I must play the role I was meant to play. I will sacrifice my life for those I love, to put an end to this madness, to stop the dreadful darkness that persists in this world. You must never reveal the truth to Larry or Lisa. They will only go digging for answers, and that would put them in great danger. Please, Sal, you must protect them for me. They are your family, and that makes you my family too. I'm sorry your life has been filled with tragedy, and I'm sorry to say that there is more misfortune awaiting you, but you are destined to play an important role in all of this. In time, everything will be clear. Sincerely, Jim Johnson. Yeah, so as it turns out, Larry's dad's a freaking alien. I guess a humanoid alien. And I guess the J on there, and yes, my hand is in the shot now, just so I can point it out. But yeah, I guess the J probably should have spelled that out instantly, but I mean, that's insane, though, to think that Larry is actually an alien. Like, I was wondering where that came from, because, like I said, I'm recording this after I've already done episodes 1 through 4, and I found out that you need to get 100% in all 4 of the original episodes in order to get the quote-unquote true ending for episode 5. There's like an epilogue, and you can only unlock it after 100%ing all 4 episodes. So I went back to play through them, and come to find out, yeah, there's a lot I missed. And the only reason I'm recording this now is because I don't know if I can look at this later. That's the only reason I'm doing this. Otherwise, I would just wait and stream it. But also, this took like 18 minutes. That would take a lot of actual video time. But yeah, I thought it was so weird when Sal mentioned that in episode 4. Like what the hell? Where did the alien thing come from? And there it is, right there, clear as day. And I think when Jacksepticeye played it, I think he was confused too, because he never found this. I mean, it's hard to fucking find this. I mean, if we go over here to my my achievements and look at missing pages, me and 1.7% of gamers unlocked this. Of all the people that have played this game on Xbox, 1.7% have unlocked that. Meaning that about 1.7% of people have actually gotten this part of the story. And that's insane. So yeah, I don't think a lot of people even know about that. But I am sharing this with you all now. This is a pretty big revelation for me. I didn't even think that was going to happen. I mean, I have to kind of downplay it because I gotta be quiet because people are still out in the living room trying to sleep or whatever. So trying to be fairly quiet. But yeah, I'm very shocked at that. I didn't even read that before recording this. I made sure I collected all 11 pages before I started reading it. So like I said, if you're seeing this, then I wasn't able to stream it. If you're not seeing it, then it doesn't matter because I've deleted this by that point. But I hope you guys enjoyed this fascinating little deep dive into some more of the extended lore of Sallyface. And I will see you guys in the next video. Until then.